it's Laura and today I'm going to be doing my favourite books of 2017. So basically I've narrowed down all the books I've read this year to my top 12 and I'm going to be sharing them with you today. They are in no particular order except for the last kind of set, which you'll understand when I actually get to it. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first book on this list is By Your Side by Kasie West, and as you can see I am rereading it for the third time this year. It's such a cute, quick, fun, easy read which I needed to end the year off with, so I thought I would reread it again because it's so amazing. I love Autumn, I connected with her so well. I loved her relationship with the guy Dax, who is like the loner boy who she basically gets locked in the library with, which is like goals. So yeah, I loved it so much and I can't wait to read more of Kasie's writing next year. The next book on this list is representing all Morgan Matson books that I've read this year, and that is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I love Morgan Matson's writing so much. She is definitely one of my favourite contemporary authors. Unexpected Everything is, if I had to choose one, probably my favourite of her books so far because dogs are involved, a cute nerdy guy called Clark is involved, and Andy is such a really easy character to get along with, and like put that in one book and that's just like fab. Basically about a girl called Andy who is like planned every second of her life and her plan goes to waste basically. It's such a good read and I cannot wait for Morgan Matson's next book, Save the Date, which comes out June in case anyone was wondering. The next book on this list is another contemporary and that is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is a retelling of Cinderella and it stuck to the telling of Cinderella so well, which I wasn't expecting, and I loved Cinderella as a kid, so that definitely hooked me from the beginning. It's about a girl called Elle who's such geeky and the guy in it is also geeky, which always like ends with a perfect match really. I loved the romance, I loved the whole retelling of Cinderella, and I loved every single aspect of it. The next book on this list is Snow Like Ashes by Sara Roche. This is basically a fantasy about the seasons of the kingdoms in this world, and the kingdom of winter has been taken over and there are only 4 people from the kingdom of winter left, including Mira, who is the main character. I love Mira so much. She was really like a strong female character, which I always love, and the plot twists in this one really hooked me because I'm still deciding whether I saw it coming or not. But yes, I loved it and I cannot wait to read the second and third one next year. The next book on this list is representing the entire Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This is probably my favourite in the trilogy, which is why it is representing them all. This is basically about a girl called Feyre who she lives in the human world but she gets taken to the fairy world. She's basically a little bit of a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but not fully. That's kind of what the vibe you get in the first one, but it kind of dies down in the second and third one. This is my favourite because there's like Rhysand in it. Feyre becomes such a very strong character and kind of steps out of her shell. I do love the third one, but if I had to choose, this would be my favourite, and I cannot wait for A Court of Frost and Starlight next year. Next book on this list is again representing a series, and that is Crest by the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This is probably my favourite storyline, but Winter is probably my favourite book because Winter has like Winter and Jake in it when I really love those characters as well. But the Crest storyline I really enjoyed because I loved Crest as a character. I loved how she kind of came out of her shell literally after being trapped. This is a retelling of Rapunzel, and that's basically what the entire Lunar Chronicles is about, the retellings of different fairy tales. I loved Thorn, I loved Crest, I loved the other characters that were involved, and I love everything that's happening, and I cannot wait to reread the Lunar Chronicles next year, which I'm definitely doing after I've read Stars Above. I'm also just going to casually add in here, I apologise if it seems like I'm going really fast, but my app will only let me do 10 minutes per video, so that is why. But the next book that is on this list is The Scarecrow Queen by Melinda Salisbury. I do have my copy on my shelf, however it's got books piled up on top of it, so I didn't want to mess it up and get it. But yeah, Melinda Salisbury ended her trilogy of The Sin Eater's Daughter so well. Twyla's character development was actually insane, and the ending was something I was totally not expecting but totally worked, and it was so good. I would definitely recommend The Sin Eater's Daughter if you are like a fantasy lover because it's so amazing. Another book that I don't actually have with me at the moment is Once and For All by Sarah Dassin. I lent it to someone who has not given it back yet, but this basically was such an emotional book for me. I cried even though I knew what was coming because you knew, but oh my god, it was sad and it hit you hard because it's something that happens in society today, and you were just like, oh my god, this could happen to anyone. It could happen to you, it could happen to your friends, it could happen to your siblings, and it was like, whoa. Sarah Dassin's books are so hard-hitting topics, and I love that, but at the same time, if there's one out there which is less hard-hitting, someone please tell me because I will read that book. Next book on this list is King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. This is the third book in the Red Queen series, and if you guys didn't know, Red Queen is one of my favourite fantasy series. out there. It's about basically reds and silvers. Silvers rule, reds don't. This is the third book. Oh my god, I'm super excited for the fourth one coming out in Warstorm in May, I think it is. Amazing things happen in this book, but obviously because it's the third one I can't really go into too much depth. But the ending kind of annoyed me a bit, but it's fine because she can fix it. But I love this series so much, I'm kind of sad that it's going to end, but I'm super, super excited to see how she does. The next book on this list is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is a debut novel of Stephanie Garber's, and it's so amazing. You could not tell that it's debut. I love this book so much because of the carnival aspect, the really cool fancy kind of vibes, and the sister relationship, because the sister relationship between the two main characters, Scarlett and Tella, I almost said Stella then, combining the two, it's just amazing. I loved it so much. And the fact that like they really like stick up for each other against their father, who's kind of like an abuser, and it's just so good. And the Caraval itself was just like you didn't know what was going to happen next, and I cannot wait for Legendary coming out next year. I'm going to reread this one to kind of refresh my memory, which I'm also really looking forward to. The second to last book on this list is Take the Key and Lock Her Up by Ali Carter. This is again the third book in the Embassy Road trilogy, so I can't go into too much depth, but Ali Carter ended this trilogy with a bang. It was such a good trilogy, and again I'm rereading this next year because I'm rereading everything that I own. I cannot wait to reread it. I've been in such a really like Embassy Row mood lately, and I'm very excited about it. This is basically follows Grace, who lives on Embassy Row due to the fact that things have gone on in her past that's made her father decide to ship her off to live with her granddad, who's the American embassy there. And it follows her like kind of like trying to decide whether her mother was murdered, because she thinks that she was, but nobody believes her. And oh my god, it's intense, but it's amazing. And I'm very, 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 very excited for Ali's new book, Not to My Safety First, comes out March 27th, because I'm promoting her because it's amazing. It sounds so good. Very excited. And finally, my favourite books of the year, by like hands down, is the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. Oh my god, these are so good. I can't go into too much depth. Basically, I finished Clockwork Princess on Wednesday, and I've never cried so much in my life. These are freaking fantastic. These are basically the prequels to the Mortal Instruments. They are set in the Victorian era. You see the descendants, or ancestors rather, of the Mortal Instruments characters. I loved Tessa. I loved Will Herondale is literally the love of my life. I kid you not. You have Will, you have Tessa, you have Jem. I was going to say Tessa and Jem at the same time. Jem is like your best friend. Tessa's just like amazing. Charlotte is like a feminist beyond her years. Henry's just cute, and the Lightwoods are just funny. And I just loved it. I loved every second of it. I'm rereading them next year as well, minus the bit that made me cry my eyes out so much. But yes, I love them so much. These are like literally like my life at the minute. I'm not kidding you. So that is all for my favourite books of 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you did. And I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye guys!